Happy Sunday. Welcome to Temple Chats, our week 3. Honoring your truth with myself, Cara Mendez, and my husband, Edmundo. We were struggling to find the lighting. So we're sitting in the stairwell of the temple at the moment. So it's a little dark, we're a little cramped, but we're gonna make it work. Yeah, like your leg is, your leg is dangling.
What's that game that where you have the dots and whatever you call it?
Oh, we're playing Twister in the stairwell. Yeah.
It's all good though.
Oh my gosh. I feel like the camera needs to move or something.
Just push it down, maybe.
Which way?
Yeah, wherever. That's fine.
That better?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now we're kind of in the center. Okay. Oh my gosh, my notebook. I don't know where my notes are. Oh well. We did have notes. I think it's fine. No, it's fine. It's fine.
Sure?
Yeah, I think we got it. How are you all this Sunday? Come join us. We're waiting for you all to join us. Here we go. Come. Say hello when you arrive. Say hi. Okay. So, hi Lauren. Hi. All right. So this whole series, again, just as a quick reminder, in case this is your first one that you're catching, we recently built an underground temple. Well, my husband built it.
It was we.
It was we.
It was
definitely a team effort. And then we hosted a really fucking epic initiation retreat. And we are initiating dragon mothers, the dragon priestesses. And we kind of were just divinely led here. We haven't really fully understood like exactly what we're doing and why we're doing it. We just keep saying yes. We just keep saying yes. And then the truth begins to be revealed. We just continue to honor our guidance and listen and learn all of the lessons along the way. And so that's what we wanted to share with you all today. So I think the first chat we talked about just kind of like the overview of our journey, and then of the build of the temple and the retreat experience and how fucking epic it was. And there were a lot of challenges. And then last week, I talked about like returning to innocence, which has like been such a huge component of this journey, the purification process. And then today we're going to talk about honoring your truth and what that looked like for us and how we maybe didn't always get it right, like the ins and outs, right? Like we don't, and on the journey to honoring our truth, there's like so many times where we don't do that, and that is the beauty of the lesson that we get to glean. So
yeah, well, yeah, exactly. We want to talk to you about living in your truth. And so we wanted to share our this experience of building this temple and how more than ever we were able to stay in our truth. And what that looked like. I think this is the gift of Cara and I, and this is why people come to us, because people being tired of living their life and in disillusion, and they want to remove that veil and they want to start living in their truth, because it's a beautiful place to live from, to become that much sovereign, and that is through your truth. So
I can already hear their questions. Would you elaborate on like, what do you mean by living in your truth?
So that to live your truth is not to live in this illusion. You know, what is the illusion? That you're not loved, that you're not supported, that you have to do this alone, that you're a victim to your life, that there is no way that you could ever heal, and that you're just stuck in this place. And that's the lie. The truth is that, you're worthy, and that, what happened to you is happening for you, not to you, that you are supported, that you don't have to walk this path alone, that there is people that are here to, assist you in your healing path. Just that, that is what I mean by living in your truth.
Yeah.
The truth, and to get rid of all the lies we tell ourselves, to basically keep those stories intact, to keep those beliefs intact, because some of those stories don't want to die, so then you create all this like whole story, this whole illusion of like why that story is real, when a lot of times it's not.
Yeah.
And so this process, building this temple, showed us that. We were to do things very differently this time. And sure, was it challenging at times? Absolutely. But we kept coming back to our truth. And so I guess like we can share that with you so you can see how it played out while building this temple.
Yeah, because we too have also like walked this journey of like, we don't get to have what we want. We have to sacrifice. It has to be hard. There's only can be suffering. And that is what we, as we learn to honor our truth, the truth is that it doesn't have to be that way. Like, yes, there can be challenges like what we endured. Like, so part of what we endured is, Edmundo was like working like 10 to 12 hour days out here on this temple, like every single day, 7 days a week for like at least 6 weeks, at least. And there were other people also assisting him at times, but sometimes he was just out here by himself. And that meant that I was inside.
Well, yeah. And
taking care of the kids and the house and the meals and the laundry, and also working.
Well, yeah, and we'll take it from the beginning too, because even before we started building this temple, we had a conversation of like, hey, so we're about to do this, and this is going to ask something of you, and it's going to ask something of me, and are you willing to do this? And we both agreed, yes, we'll make it happen. We've done this before, and we're going to work together. And yes, is it going to be challenging? Yes, and we're going to take on the challenge because we think it's worth it, and because we just believe in it. Right? In the past, we didn't do that. We just started taking on projects, or even new offerings, or just even going to the gym, or adding whatever kind of activities to our lives.
Detoxes.
Not having that conversation, and then feeling resentful, feeling alone, feeling like you didn't ask me. You just kind of brought me along for the ride.
Overwhelmed.
All those things. So for us to have had that conversation. It was us, again, like coming back to our truth and not wanting to be victimized by that. Because in reality, that's what we do, right? Like, we don't have those conversations because that's the ask from each other. It's like, I'm not going to ask, I'm not going to tell you, and then I'm going to feel resentful. Then I'm going to be mad at you. Then I'm going to feel victimized by you. And to remove the veil, to remove that illusion, is to not want to be victimized, to not want to be made wrong, to not be unsupported, to not feel alone on this path. So I think that when we decided to have this conversation is because we were like, okay, we're going to live in our truth. And then we just kept coming back to that. Saying, hey, we're doing this together. How are you feeling? Well, I'm feeling this way. Okay, I understand. But we decided this is what we're going to do. And this is only temporary, and we're going to see it through. And that really, really made a big difference. Oh,
it really did. Like, there were times when I just felt like I was at my max capacity, and there were times when he felt like he was at his max capacity, and like my body was hurting and his body was hurting. And so we worked on each other. I maybe gave him a massage, or he gave me a massage, or I can remember so many times, like, I remember like the old thoughts of like, I feel so unsupported. I'm doing this all alone. And then I would remember like, nope, that's not true. That's just a story. I am supported. And like, I could share with him how I was thinking, like what the thought processes were, and he wasn't taking it personally. He didn't get defensive. He wasn't like, what the fuck, you know, or anything like an old story, like an old way we would have played it out. And I also wasn't projecting onto him. I wasn't saying like, you're doing this to me. I'm like, I'm just noticing that this is coming up. And he would just remind me, this is just temporary. Just stay open. Just stay open. Right. And we like having that talk in the beginning of like, hey, we're about to do this hard thing. We've done a lot of hard things together, but we hadn't done it in this way. Like we hadn't been fully like, what's the word?
Well, I was going to say that in having that conversation, in living our truth, our ask of each other changed.
Yes.
So we were no longer asking the other person to victimize
violate me
or tell me that I'm alone, or tell me that
prove to me
that I'm alone, or prove to me that I am unworthy of your love and support, you know, of even your touch, you know, of like, just because in the past for me, when things were getting hard, I would have self-isolated. You know, and that was a story of mine, right? That, oh, I'm alone in this, you know, there's no support, you know, because there was some shame, there was some guilt there, right? And so then I had different acts of Cara, and then I wouldn't allow her to support me, or, you know, even have some conversations that I feel like last time, it offered us so much.
Yeah, it really did. And like, I think a really beautiful piece of this, of like what we walked through and experienced was, one, like this like inner divine union within each of us, like, but it was like playing out between the two of us, and like as the physical representation of the masculine and feminine. And we really got to rewrite a lot of stories in this process. And we talked about this in the first video, because one of our huge intentions was to make this experience sacred.
Yeah,
like we had experienced other transformations and other, you know, ceremonies and different things that we've done where we didn't always honor the sacredness of it. And by that, I mean, like, we made it wrong after the fact, because the truth that was revealed was so fucking brutal and like ego shattering. And we really vowed to not do that this time. We vowed to like make it all sacred. So like, even as I was like maybe tired and, you know, having to cook dinner or figure out groceries, or, you know, keep up with the kids' needs and emotions, and, you know, driving here and there and my work schedule and whatever, it was really maintaining the sacredness of the mundane day to day, and realizing, constantly remembering that we were doing this for a greater purpose, right? And to infuse love into it, and just the intention. And I feel like that gave us the energy to keep going, that it really let us pull from such a filled up well.
Yeah, and we carried that into the retreat.
Yes. So,
because basically it was like 2 days after the retreat started that I finished the space. So we were like in that energy of truth, right? Of truth, of like being feeling supported, and we just carried that into retreat. And the retreat was a beautiful
extension,
mirror of like the people that we have become, because we were able to also stay in our truth. And when people wanted to, you know, play out their stories, the illusion, the lies, we stay solid. We're like, no, that is not the truth. The truth is that you are loved. The truth is that you are supported. The truth is that we're not going to abandon you, even when you're asking us to abandon you, because throughout this project, we never abandoned ourselves and each other. And so this, I feel like this temple, the temple was just a reflection of where we're now at, where the people that we've become. Yeah. And this is how we also do our work. You know, we had this temple session here that lasted like 5 hours, 6 hours. And not one that I was like, oh, you know what, I'm done with you people, you know, whatever. I was in it till the end, right? No. I was not gonna abandon myself or them. You know, I was not gonna stay in my truth, and also, bringing them along to stay in their truth.
Yeah.
And so the whole retreat was an amazing experience, and it just showed us again, like, who we become, what we're about, and how we show up to do the work, because that's how we show up for ourselves.
Yeah, that temple session really, I feel like the whole weekend, like, first of all, the weekend, it was like the hottest day of the year here in St. Louis. It was 102 degrees on the Friday that we did one, a 4-hour hike, and two, a fucking sweat lodge. It was 102 degrees. Like, talk about fortitude and tenacity and grit and determination. That was such an initiation for all of us. We truly had to be so willing to surrender any and all stories that we weren't capable.
Yeah, and a lot of people that came to that retreat came with a lot of lies that they were carrying, right? And it was for a lot of them, and not most of them, it was hard to stay in the truth of like how much they can hold, and the truth of like how much they actually feel, and denying their emotions or feelings, and be like, no, I don't feel. No, you do feel. You just haven't allowed yourself. Oh, I can't do this. Yes, you can. And not only can you but you can go way beyond that. And all this illusions, like, oh, you know what? People abandoned me. Well, I'm not gonna abandon you. So that story needs to freaking leave, because I'm not gonna give you the ass. And so it was really hard for them to suddenly can no longer live in that lie, right? Can't live in the lie because we won't let you, right? But then once they can surrender to the truth that they're loved, the truth they're supported, the truth that they're not abandoned, the truth that they're just, everything's happening for them, then what comes is liberation, because now they're free from that shackle, the lie that has been holding them back, the one that has been, won't allow them to receive, to
receive themselves.
Yeah. So, it was beautiful because they were like, oh shit, that was extremely hard. Like Cara was saying, that day was like 102 degrees, right? And they go on a hike, and the thing the real feel was like 113. So it was definitely hot. Then they do the hike in the morning, and then they do the sweat lodge at night, and so they're like, how the fuck are we going to do this? How are we going to do this? And then they did it, right? And it was hard. It was hard. It was challenging. I don't say hard. It was challenging, right? Because I felt like that too. And Cara felt like that. Like, oh my God, like this is very challenging. But we met ourselves where we could. And after that, all of us pushed beyond what we thought we were capable. And then everybody was like on a high. Everybody was like, oh my God, when can we do this again?
Yeah.
Like, can we do this again tomorrow?
And I almost feel like it wasn't a push. It was like, for me anyway, it was like, how much more deeply can I surrender to get through this? Because that's really what was being asked of us. It was like that we had to surrender, and it was like it created this like new feminine imprint within all of our beings, because it wasn't about like how tough can we be and how hard can we push. It was literally like laying in this insane fucking heat of the sweat lodge and just literally surrendering.
And it wasn't just like it was definitely very hot, but it's also like that we had to sit with our thoughts. They were uncomfortable, that we had to sit with other people, and we had to allow people to see us, and that was uncomfortable, right? That we can maybe connected to our divinity for the first time, or whatever, in a while, and that was uncomfortable. That there was people there that were willing to support us, and we had to allow to open our hearts and allow that support, and that was uncomfortable. So there were so many things that were uncomfortable also, and then we did the work. We all finished, and then we all felt again that sense of accomplishment, of like liberation. And that's how it was for us when we built the temple. That's how it was for me. Like we did this. It was challenging. It was uncomfortable, but we did this. And now like we love the space. And since we did the retreat, because the retreat was the first time we hosted something here in the temple, it was been back to back. you know,
Yeah.
temple
Non-stop.
sessions, shibari sessions, love making sessions,
Divine union
divine
ceremonies.
sessions, yes. Yeah, so, you know, we definitely...
Journeys, plant medicine. Did a plant medicine in it last night.
Yeah, so this space definitely, we still keep coming in here every day and be like, wow. Like the activation of the space is just amazing. You know, you can't help it but to be in that ceremony when you walk into the space.
Yeah. It commands a level of sacredness and reverence for sure.
Yeah, and as again, is this place, you know, it's a symbol for truth. It's a structure that holds truth of like what we can accomplish, how much we can go beyond what we think is possible. You know, that we are supported, because one of the things also that happened during this time was that we opened our hearts to support something that we had never done before, or we didn't think it was possible.
Yeah.
I think it had always been there.
Yes.
But we couldn't see it, right? There was a story that had to die, and that story that had to die was that we weren't on support, that nobody was here to support us, and people showed us like strangers, you know, people that we didn't know existed, or they were, you know, and suddenly they're like, hey, I want to be part of that, and we had to open up our hearts, expand into that.
Yeah, I want to just like share a few specifics of like what that looked like. So, for example, I met this really amazing woman, Michelle Fleming, shortly before the retreat, and she did some energy healing on me, and she actually worked on Eddie also during the build and helped him work out some issues that he was having, some bodily challenges with his ribs and his back and different things, and then I found her, and she was like, I don't know who you are or where you came from, but like we just like felt this connection. And she was like, oh, here, I have these Thai massage mats. They're literally like, they're cost a decent amount, right? Like we're already, you know, spending quite a bit of money building this temple out. And so she was like, oh, here, because I was like, I don't know what I need for the inside yet, but I need something. And she was like, oh, I have these things. Like, do you want to borrow my Thai massage mats? I'm not going to need them for a few months. And I was like, yes, please. Thank you. And that was such a godsend. And she's like, oh, here, and I have a bunch of sheets. You can just borrow my sheets. You don't have to go buy sheets either. And then, you know, we had Eric Rosen, who like came and helped like work many days, building and like washing the stones with like sacredness, and just doing so much, helping put the roof on, like all kinds of different things. And then we had Amanda Godey. She freaking came and like was like, hey, I see you're doing really cool things. I'm willing to come and help. Like, I know your brother-in-law. And I was like, okay, yes. She ended up like making the most gorgeous poison path crowns, like the dragon mother crowns for this experience that I could have even imagined. I didn't know her at all prior to this. She came and she like just came and brought so much love to my children and to our home. And she like cleaned deep cleaned and organized my entire living room and reorganized our bookcases to make them look like art. They're so beautiful that she reorganized all of the books by color, and it's just made this space magical. And she brought the gift of an open heart. Oh, you know, and purity. Yeah. The most pure open heart you will ever meet on a human. So yeah, and then our friend Dayla too. Dayla, fuck. Yeah, she was also a Dayla Ramsey. Yeah, assisted us on the retreat, you know, and again, so all these people, they brought so much medicine to us. Our parents, yeah. Oh my gosh, my dad came and like literally repainted our hallway and did all this like handyman work in our house, you know, and put light bulbs and things and put a new element in our oven, and just, gosh, he just like did so much that we would have never had the time and space to do. And he just came in and did it, even though he was also tired and working and had a full schedule and traveling. And my mom like took the kids for the weekend of the retreat. My grandparents took a couple of our kids. Your mom assisted us, like his mom like loaned us some money to build this temple. Gosh, there was like so many people who contributed in the most beautiful and magical ways. And this was such a gift, profound gift for us to see that like how deeply and fully supported we actually are and have always been. And we got to like be so grateful and open our hearts like so much to receiving all of this support.
And this was, I think, like this was because we decided that we were going to do it differently.
Yes.
That we were going to, this time, that we were going to be supported, that we were going to, it was going to be easy. And I think once we decided that truth came in, that we are supported, that, the thing that we lived for many, many years, this thing of like just living alone, thinking that we had to do it all, was just an illusion.
Yeah.
That it was just a lie.
Yeah.
And the reality is that people always were there to help us, but we just wouldn't allow it to come in.
We couldn't.
We couldn't
Yet.
And I think this time we were like, it's going to be easy. And then people showed up. And then people showed up, when above and beyond. And again, like that is because of living our truth.
Yeah.
And this is what we want for people.
Yeah.
One of our deepest desire is for other people just to live in live in their truth, and therefore be liberated from the illusion, the lies.
Yes, that you can live life without sacrificing and abandoning and violating yourself. That's been one of the greatest lessons. And I'm not saying that we didn't violate ourselves in the process of building this. We did to some degree. There were some places where we, weren't yet fully able to honor our truth, and where we maybe could have done things a little differently, but that was also the only way to learn is to do.
And the idea here is not to get it perfect.
Yes.
It's like perfection is nothing that we strive for,
No.
That we're like, we're going to do this perfect. The idea that every single time that we get to deepen in our truth and remove that veil a little bit more, and I think like whenever you do hard things and you put yourself out there and you get uncomfortable, the expansion is that much greater. I think a lot of people that come here, looking for something. Maybe they don't know what they're looking for, but they feel the activation. They feel like nervous. They feel scared. They're gonna get this inside the sweat lodge, something they've never done, and then they hear about how hot it is, and it gets dark in there, and it's it's challenging. They come here to the temple, and they're gonna be able to be seen, and they're gonna feel, and all that stuff is an activation. But because of that, because it's something that is uncomfortable, challenging, something awaits on the other side. They get outside their comfort, and then they come here, and then they experience that.
Yeah.
And I feel like all these things that we've been talking about are expanders, are experiences where you have to learn how to surrender. You have to learn how to let those stories or beliefs die. And I think Cara and I have gotten really good at that. Gotten really good at it.
Yeah, we have gotten really good at it, and there's still always more to do, right? And I think the beautiful part of this for us, where we have reached a level of mastery, is that we don't take it personal anymore when we do fail. Or if we do take it personal, it's just for a very short time, and then we see
there's no failure.
We see that, right? And then we no longer we know, there is no such thing as failure. There's just an opportunity for growth and expansion, right? Which is what he's saying is like we've gotten so good at, I guess I should have said like failure in this way, right? Like what we might have perceived as failure in the past is no longer failure to us. And it's not failure because now we don't take it personally. We don't make it mean anything about us. We don't make it mean what's possible for us in the future. We just say, okay, that worked well, or that didn't work the greatest, and here's what we could have done differently. And we started doing this process of like evaluation and feedback, like since we started facilitating plant medicine like 2.5 years ago. And after each time we facilitate any experience, we say, hey, we give ourselves a few days to process, and then we say, okay, what could we have done differently? And then we have a really honest conversation, and it sometimes is uncomfortable. And that's really, I think, what this requires of us is being willing to have honest, truthful conversations with ourselves and with each other. And that cultivates that deeper level of acceptance. And again, it's like without judgment, without blame, without making anyone wrong. And that is where the expansion happens. That is where the truth lies, right? Like that's where you keep growing. And that's also where there's like so much liberation from those old stories, to see that like this is all an experiment. All of it is an experiment. We're all just kind of winging it and figuring it out as we go. And hopefully the idea is to learn the lessons, and that turns into wisdom.
I don't know if I agree with the winging it, because I feel like there's definitely some guidance here.
There is.
There is. I think like Cara and I have gotten really good at listening, you know, of that guidance. And so like this temple, for example, you know, this is the thing that we've been hearing for years and years and years. Like that we need to build a retreat center, that we need to build a temple, you know, and that never went away. And then just everything just aligned, and for us to do this. But I really truly believe that we were guided to build this, you know, that even us finding each other was some kind, it was, we were brought together for this work.
Divine guidance. Divinely orchestrated.
And a lot of the way we work is that, you know, through a lot of just guidance, we become empty conduits whenever we're doing the work, and then stuff just comes through this at times. I can't say that I can take credit for it. I don't know where it's coming from, you know, divinity, or some people call it God, you know, the cosmos. But yeah, it's something that I've kind of learned. I've learned through time, you know, that we're definitely being guided.
Well, and what I mean by winging it is I'm a 3/5 in human design, so I'm like this experimenter. Right, so
here's a fuck around.
I'm a fuck around and find out.
Yeah.
Like I have no idea if this is gonna burn me, bite me, you know, kill me, whatever. But I'm gonna jump the fuck in and I'm gonna do it.
But there's a different. I think for you, there's definitely a huge like inner like guidance. You know what I'm saying? Like you're like, yeah, this is my burning, but I know that I'm gonna get something from it.
Yeah.
Like I need to do this to get to wherever I need to go. You know,
I do have that awareness and understanding now. I did not always. I used to jump in and do things very naively, very blindly, and then make it mean something about me.
And I think that's another part that you know, just to touch on it, that we have gotten really good at extracting the medicine from any situation.
Yes.
And I think that's what when people come here, they get exactly what they need.
Yes.
You know, not what they want, but what they need.
What
right?
they need.
And it's because of that we teach people, okay, you came here and you thought you wanted this, but what you really needed was this, right? And this is why. Mm-hmm. This is the medicine, right? Mm-hmm. Because everything that's happening, I feel like, is happening for us, right? And there's lessons, there's opportunities, there's expanders. You know, everything. And if you start seeing life in that way, life becomes something very, very different. Yeah. You're no longer a victim. You no longer dwell on what happened. You're not wondering like if you made the right decision or not. You know, you take action a lot quicker. Mm-hmm. You know, because you know, like, you know what, I'm gonna do this, and maybe it's gonna work. Maybe it's not gonna work, but I'm definitely gonna get the lessons I need, or the clarity I need. I want to get the answers that I need to go to the next step. Yeah. And so people come here, and that's what we teach them. We teach them, hey, like, okay, this thing that happened, what you felt, what you saw, is for your greater good. Mm-hmm. It's for your expansion.
Your evolution.
It's for your evolution. Mm-hmm. And I very rarely, if any time, do people come here and they walk out feeling like, oh, I didn't get that I came here for. You know, and I'm like, okay, shit. Fuck, I didn't even know that that's what I needed. Mm-hmm. I didn't even know that that's what I was looking for. Wow. We hear that a lot.
Well, if they do feel like that, that's just them denying the medicine of the experience.
Right. But yeah, because sometimes we get married to just ideas of what we want and we can't even see past that, Our mind is limited that way.
Yeah.
It happens to us. Like even building this temple was that. We knew that we need to build it, but maybe not 100% knowing why, right? Not 100%, but then find out like, oh, this is why. Mm-hmm. Because every priestess needs her temple, because she needed a safe space to do her magic, to do her work, to be in with her sisters,
of
service. And it's something that came in very, very strong after we were completed building this thing. And for me, there's been other things too, that have been birthed because of this temple that I didn't even know they were there.
Yeah.
So
yeah, this space allows for us to be, this is like another aspect of our truth, is it allows us to be the fullest expression of ourselves, of our soul. It allows us to bring all of us back into wholeness and express freely. And there is truly no greater liberation or power than that. When you come here, when you come and work with us, that's what we do. We are liberators. You come to us to reclaim your power.
Yeah.
To walk this life free.
To get that much closer to your truth. Because it's I feel like that is everything. To live in your truth. And everybody's truth is different. To live like a child again. To have the innocence of a child. To create like a child. That's what we showed you. To go back to that. And to your truth, when you're a child, that you're free. You're free to move in any kind of direction. You feel like you want to jump, you jump. You feel like you want to, pretend to be Batman, you pretend to be Batman. Whatever, you have that innocence. And because of like so many things, traumas, programming, people taking from us, projecting their own ideas, we lose that. Yeah. And people come here to reconnect with that. I tell Cara when I hold people, I hold women, in my arms to create that safety. I'm not holding grown women. I'm holding little girls that never got to be held, that never got to feel that safety, that never got told they were beautiful or they were smart or they were, perfect, the way they are. And so because that's what we all want. We want that. We want to feel that. Mm-hmm. And there's just so many things, so many layers, of the work that we do. But that's one of them. But I think the foundation of all this is that we help people come back to their truth.
Yeah, because I always tell women, when they're going to come and work with us and do a temple session with the both of us, that what they experience with Edmundo when he does hold them is, like he said, these things where he's like able to transmit this love, this fatherly love, this masculine love, protection, provision, safety, all of these things, is that those stories within us as women, as the feminine, those stories have to die. And that allows us to become more whole. It allows us to reclaim those fragmented parts that, believed that they were unlovable or not worthy of provision or safety, or that they were not beautiful, or all of the various different stories that we all carry.
Yeah, and a lot of the stories, a lot of the beliefs are put in place is to survive, to protect yourself.
Yes,
they're all protectors, that are telling you, and they serve you, and they serve you well, right? But in that moment where your protector says no longer has to protect you, no longer has to, be on guard, and in that moment when that happens, you get to create new stories, you get to create new beliefs, but in order for that to happen, he has to know that he's okay. That protector that keeps you disconnected, that keeps you, close-hearted, all those things, right?
Yeah.
Just because you don't want to experience that pain, that hurt.
Yeah.
So those are all just your protectors. Mm-hmm. And when that protector no longer has to be on guard, feel safe, then you can open your heart.
Yeah.
Then you can start living in your truth.
Yeah.
Then you can expand.
Yeah.
And that is, what these temple sessions are for.
Yeah.
The temple and the Temazcal, they have a very different feeling. Talking about the temple, that's what comes to mind.
Yeah. Yeah. I was going to say, like, as you're de-armoring the protector, you're shifting that part of you out of fear and back into love. And that's what allows the armor to fall away. Yeah. And that's where that retemplating comes in. That's where we heal our masculine, and that's where we come into a right relationship with ourselves in that way. And it's such a beautiful experience. And it's the path of mastery, self-mastery. It really, really, truly is.
Yeah. There's like I said, we can talk about this for hours and hours and hours, but one of the things that I feel like that for me has been the most like life-changing is that now I get to see the lies just passing by. I get to see the illusion for what it is, right? I'm not attached to that. I'm not emotionally invested in the stories anymore. And sometimes they get activated, right? And sometimes I do feel it coming in, but then I can just see them for what they are. I'm like, oh, you're feeling this way because this got activated, but it's not your truth. Oh, you wanna disconnect from your wife because you're feeling unsafe because of something she said. Oh, but that's not true. And so then I can just see it for what it is and say, no, I choose connection. I choose the love of my wife. I choose the love of my children. And there is no need to self-punish or to abandon myself or to disconnect because of this protector or because of this story or whatever.
Well, you choose your own love.
And so then I'm able to just see it for what it is. And then I'm able to move so much quicker through that process, or even stay, without moving. So I think that's another layer of the work that we do. We teach people how to separate themselves from their bank account, from their family traumas, from distortions, from all that.
Yeah, from their past actions.
Yeah, from their past, or things that happened to them.
Yeah. Well, I think that that's like where I want to just like make an invitation for you all to come and if this work speaks to you, and if you want to find out more, like we're offering temple sessions privately. So reach out, let us know if you're interested. You can work with myself privately, you can work with us together, or you can work with Edmundo privately, just depending on whatever your individual need is. And we can have a conversation and figure out what that is. So just message me. There's different price points, starting at $333 up to $555 right now. So yeah, just let us know.
And we also have the retreat coming up in November.
We do have another retreat coming up, another initiation experience. November 9th through 11th. And that's where, again, you can come and you can experience the hike, the Temazcal, and a group temple session. It's literally the most transformational weekend you'll probably ever experience in your life. Everyone who attended the last one was like, you ruined us for all other experiences. Like, that was just so like epic and beyond. And
we go deep.
We go very, very deep.
We go deep. We're if you're ready to go deep, if you're ready to really, really move to the next level, expand, heal, then definitely
meet yourself in your power.
This is the retreat for you, because that's one thing that Cara and I, since day one, we just we don't know any other way but to like go deep.
Yeah. Like,
this is just the people, like how we are,
Just how we are.
We don't like the bells and whistles. We just like the let's get to the meat, the potatoes with the meat and potatoes.
And the meat and the potatoes. Yeah. So, and that experience is $1,666. You can do a payment plan. just reach out to me again for that, and we can determine. People travel in from all over, from out of the country, from all over the country. I have a travel guide I can send you, all of the details. This is an experience that if you are seeking mastery, if you are seeking to really experience peace and ease and harmony, and to learn what it is to truly love yourself, and to feel safe within your being and experience the power of your safety, this is what we do. If you desire to be free, to be all of you, to know what that is, to heal generational woundings, to no longer have to sacrifice or abandon yourself to get what you want, to literally be able to receive everything you desire, this is what is on offer here.
And also to be part of a community, because our community is growing.
To never walk alone again.
And we have some amazing people in our community that are, again, they also have the desire to be of service, to be there. And it's one of the things that warms my heart is how our community is growing, how people are connecting because of these retreats, and their support system just keeps growing, and that's also like an added bonus to its experiences.
Yeah, I find that a lot of the women who come and work with us, they feel like alone, they feel crazy, they feel like maybe misunderstood, and then they come here and they're seen, they're heard, they're witnessed, they're validated, they're acknowledged, and they know that they are never alone again. They feel like they belong again, because we're here to be like, hey, no, you're not crazy. Who you are is perfect, and it's a gift. And that's what we want for you to fully know and move around the world really standing in that truth, that who you are is a gift.
And that's the truth.
That's the motherfucking truth. Yeah.
All right. You gotta go.
Yes. Well, thank you all so much for joining us. If you found value in this, please tell your friends. Come and join us. We're growing the community. We want to spread the magic, spread the word, free others, right?
Yeah. If you have any questions or concerns or just want to connect, reach out.
Yes, we would love to hear from you. Okay, thank you so much for being here and joining us. Love you. See you next week, same time, 11 a.m. Sundays.